You will have heard of the story of the motorist who got lost in the depths of the countryside, and seeing a local, he rolled down his window and asked directions. And the local said, "Well, if I were you, I wouldn't be starting from here." The reply says, "This is not an ideal situation that you're in." And that sentiment just about sums up the situation that we find ourselves as individuals, a nation, a world in the grip of coronavirus. The way we've been forced to celebrate Christmas, not seeing our friends, our loved ones face to face, and uncertain of how events are going to unfold, says quite loudly, this is not an ideal situation. Yet as I look back over the story of Christmas, it seems to me that rarely, if ever, in my lifetime, has so powerfully relevant that story been to where we find ourselves now. From first to last, the Christmas story is one of people who, given a chance, wouldn't be exactly where they were and in exactly the same situation. It could all have been so much better, they might have thought. And yet it's a story of triumph of human trust in God's decisions, who is truly with us and truly for us. At the Annunciation of Jesus' birth, Mary could hardly have thought herself in an ideal situation to have a child and to feel herself trusted to bear God's Son. Joseph was initially uncertain that he could cope with playing a supportive part, and yet he was moved to trust by a dream. The exhausting journey to Bethlehem for the census was not an ideal way of going on for a couple in their situation, nor was the offer of a stable because a comfortable room was not available. Shepherds trusted that they, an unlikely bunch, should go sent by angels not to a palace but a stable to greet the newborn king. And today we hear of the wise men who first looked to a palace and then were led by a star to an unlikely place, and in encountering Herod placed themselves in possible danger. A danger they avoided, but it was not avoided by those innocent children and their parents who were slaughtered by Herod's rage. At every turn, the Christmas story is fraught with the unexpected, the less than ideal situation, an underlying possibility of genuine danger. The lovely carol, No Small Wonder, sums up the powerful meaning of the story. When God chooses to be with us, the people he created, in the universe he fashions, God's choice is to place himself in the same lowly, potentially dangerous situation that most of his own people find themselves in. This Christmas, above all others, what we have experienced brings us close to that first Christmas and its challenges to all who shared in the birth of Jesus, God with us. And their response was to say yes, to trust in God's love for them, to hope in the future, to hear the song of the angels, to follow their star, to the birth of Jesus, God with us. No small wonder. Epiphany tells us of God available to every person and to every nation. God with us, God for us, God among us. No small wonder.